The Coach Vincent Show is brought to you by Bellini's Texas Grill, located in beautiful downtown Vista Ridge, Texas, at the corner of Palmer and Colonial Parkway. Remember, after every home game, visit Bellini's for the Ranger Pizza Buffet, where Gerald, Susie, and the whole crew say, "Go Rangers!" And now, here's Gage Smith and Coach Vincent.
Gage, welcome to the Coach Vincent Show. This week we played Cedar Park, and it was a tough game, 10-17. Fought to the very end, as we Rangers do. Offensive MVP this week was Fidel Estrada for some tremendous blocking on the O-line. Offensive back was Steven Mayberry. Offensive lineman was also Fidel Estrada. Offensive receiver was J.D. Hill. Defensive MVP was Jamison Gerasi. Linebacker of the week was Dylan Carter. Secondary of the week was Kevin Harris. Defensive line went to Isaac Higgins. Special forces was tied between Delonte Singleton and Alex Quintero. And the hammer roar went to Kevin Harris.
We want to highlight some of our offensive linemen and defensive linemen from some of our younger groups. We're really excited about the progress those guys have made. All of our sub-varsity teams had big wins this week against Cedar Park. Our offensive lineman was Steven Alexander. Our defensive lineman in our JV game was Stuart Hines, Taylor Creighton, and Steven Alexander. And in our freshman red game, our offensive lineman of the week was Harper Gerasi. Defensive linemen were London Bean and Jay Mobley. And in our freshman black game, our offensive lineman of the game was Jacob Pryor.
And every week we like to talk about our hard hats, those guys who really put forth all the effort into practice this week in our scout teams. This week it went to Tristan Sedlak, Michael Wyrick, Matthew Piper, Jake Shelton, David Greer, Drew Fanny, Steven Alexander, Grant Rantle, and Garrett Clark. All right, so even though it was a loss against Cedar Park, what are some good things you saw from your players in the game?
Well, the biggest thing that I was so proud of, and I told them this after the game, we had a lot of trouble with Cedar Park up front. Their offensive and defensive line's really physical, big, strong kids, and having said that, at the end of the game, it was a 7-point game, and we were still fighting. So the biggest thing that I take away from it is we've got a team that'll fight, and if you've got a team that'll fight, you've always got a chance to win. And so I was really proud of them for hanging in there and fighting.
And now let's hop over to Rouse. Cedar Park's in the past. Rouse, they run a very similar offense to ours, as well as their defense. How do you coach your players through that?
Well, it's like we've got to see this offense and defense for a while. We've been going against this, in spring ball. When we match up against ourselves, real similar styles on offense, real similar styles on defense. I think that for both teams, for both coaching staffs, they run a 3-4, we run a 3-4. They know the things that hurt them. We know the things that hurt us. And offensively, knowing the things that you like to do. So it kind of makes it a pretty even matchup from as far as the strategy standpoint, as far as the offense and defense, because I feel like we know quite a bit about each other.
And one thing that Rouse is definitely doing is if they don't win this game, there is no playoffs for them. What are some things you expect from them coming from that? Some crazy things, of course.
Well, they have a good football team, and good football teams, they do a lot of times they do what they do. They do what they do to win. So there's that side of it. I look for them to really try to get their running game going. They have an excellent passing game too. So they've got a pretty good balance on offense, and defensively, Coach Mann and his staff, they've got them playing really hard on defense, and they got some fast guys on defense. So I look for them to do what they do. Having said that, if they got in a situation where they felt like they needed to do some things to create more possessions on offense, or to give their offense another possession, then they would try to do those things. I just know if I was in that situation and I felt like I was getting behind, or the game was getting away from me, or something like that, then maybe I'd do something different. But I think they got a good football team, and I think for the most part they'll try to do what they do.
And one thing with us is our Vista Ridge Rangers, we're known for our special teams now. They've definitely put forth that effort, and people know that we're good at that. How do you think our special teams matches up?
Well, I think our special teams every week, it seems like I feel really good about those matchups. And it's not necessarily what other people are doing, but it's the fact that our guys have done a really good job buying into the special special teams, and everybody's focused on what they need to do. And we feel like in any game, depending on where it's at, if we will focus on what we do and can improve on our special teams, it'll create some opportunities for us in the game.
And I know fans are going crazy about this. What are our playoff standings?
Well, right now, this game, we're in the playoffs, so we're excited about that. Anytime you can extend your season, we're excited about that. It's great for our football program, and so we're excited to be entering the playoffs next week. As far as this game, in the playoffs, it kind of determines our seeding in the playoffs. From the other district, we won't know who we're gonna play in that first round until this game's decided, because this game decides who the 1 and 2 seed is in the Division II bracket of the playoffs.
Right. And what else? Some things to look forward to in Vista Ridge, Texas this week.
Well, this week is Senior Dedication Week, so it's a big night for our seniors. One of the things that we do at Vista Ridge, I think, to help our seniors also give back, is we have them dedicate this game to someone that means a lot to them. So our coaches and our players have dedicated this week of work and this game to someone that's had a huge impact in their life. And so our seniors will be thinking about that. Thursday night ball games, we've got a 6 o'clock game with our JV. We've got a combined JV that's playing at Rouse at 6 o'clock, 5:30 and 7 o'clock. We have our freshmen, the freshman team, freshman red team is 9-0 now, trying to make it 10-0 in this game. And then our freshman black team, they've got 1 loss and a tie, so their record, they're trying to finish off really strong on that as we go into the playoffs. And then the JV's got a big battle over Rouse. So those are the biggest things that we have going on. Really proud of this senior class. Really good senior class. It's the first class that's been with our coaching staff all 4 years. We've got to raise these guys, and so we're excited about getting to watch them play Friday night.
And be sure to go check out those sub-varsity games. Those guys play hard. Those guys, they've got a lot of heart into the game. And be sure to come to the varsity game on Friday for those seniors. Really, it's a big game for them. And that'll do it for this week's show. I'd like to thank Bellini's Texas Grill. They've got some great food, guys. Please check it out. And have a good week.